What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Currency Club. Today's special guest is very passionate about the same thing I'm passionate about, and that is creating content. So his name is Ty the Pod Guy. He is a digital creator. He is a multi-podcaster. He's a producer, founder of T.H.C. Media Network. But that's not it. This man has over 500 episodes, over 100,000 streams and views. So with that being said, what's up, Ty?
My God, what's going on with thank you again for having me on the Currency Club. Hello, everybody. My name is Tyronza Devontae Hicks, aka Ty the Pod Guy. I am a multi-podcast host, producer, engineer, social media manager, jack of all trades, all the things are the things. And I am excited to be here. Mama, we made it. We on the Currency Club.
I'm excited to have you. So let's get
Absolutely.
into it.
I started Tyronza Hicks & Company again back in December 26, 2016. And that was just a Facebook page and a Tumblr blog. We are 6 years later. We have become a whole type of podcast media network. One of the strongest, I dare to say, growing podcast networks independently in the business. Whitney has graciously and humbly said, over 500 episodes and counting, and with over 100,000 downloads, streams, and views in our pocket. And this is a one-man band. So we've been doing this for 5 years. I started in 2017 with one show, the Opinionated Brother Podcast, and it just kept going after that. You know what I'm saying? We started the R&B and Chill podcast and the Devontae's World podcast during the pandemic in 2020. From that point on, the Black Men Win podcast, which was originally a blog on the T.H.C. Media Network, we transformed that into a podcast as well during 2021, and then recently just starting our new sports show, the Grinded Out Sports Show, this year. So I've been busy, and it's all been God. I really did not think that the T.H.C. Media Network was going to turn out like this. It's been a journey, and I'm proud to say that I'm the HNIC and I'm running this thing.
So you touched on all of the different podcasts that you have, but Can you give us like the 1 or 2 sentence introduction or description for all of the podcasts that are within your network?
God. My intro to all of them?
Yes.
Basically? Oh, man.
Yes.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition, another installment, another episode. Listen, insert podcasts, and then we go from there. The Black Men Win podcast is a bi-weekly podcast. We focus on one-on-one interviews with Black men from different areas of life, from the Black cloth. And it doesn't matter what your background is. We're talking about toxic masculinity. We're talking spirituality. We're talking about uplifting the young generation. Well, this is a podcast where it is not just a podcast. It's an affirmation. It is a very transparent and honest conversation. The one thing I ask them is, what does Black Men Win mean to you? How does that look for you going forward and in building the next generation? So the R&B and Chill podcast is a podcast we host about 3 times a month, and that is near and dear to my heart. I'm not gonna lie to you, Whitney. That is probably my favorite podcast at the moment because I've grown up with R&B music. So the R&B and Chill podcast really focuses on the past, present, and the future of R&B, making sure that we honor the past by also recognizing and giving love to the present and the future that's going forward. With the Devontae's World podcast, that is my travel, culture, food, life podcast. That's kind of my singular podcast. So, of course, I'm in New York right now. So I've been privy and honored to kind of go to different areas and experience cultures, experience different types of Black. Just an example, I'm living in basically Little Jamaica, Little Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different type of culture. So, experiencing food, experiencing life. I will call it my little journal in a sense. The Opinionated Brother podcast, which is our flagship podcast, the first podcast of our network, is our news, entertainment, unfiltered current events podcast. We talk everything from news, entertainment, politics, and we are open, transparent, and very opinionated. And the last but certainly not least is the Grinded Out Sports Show, and that is basically opinions from a common fan. I love sports and I love basketball, right? But we talk a little wrestling in there, a little football, fall, and that is every week Saturdays.
You keep saying we, but at the beginning of the show, you said it's a one-man show. So
It
who
is.
is we?
We is the people that support me. I know I say that it is a one-man band, and it is. I produce, edit, host, I do it all. However, when I say we, I know that there is a team behind me. Maybe not physical right now, and that will come. There is a support group behind me in a sense. If I need something, if I need to ask podcast homie, if I need to ask Whitney, right? Like, yo, can you hop on the podcast real quick, right? Like, hey, come on through, and she's like, I got you. That's support to me. And I respect my craft and I respect my hustle. But I cannot go without saying that it is a village that has built this network. To be honest with you, if I was good with the Opinionated Brother, that's what I was good with at a time. I thought it was just going to be that. Like, I didn't look at starting all the other podcasts. Like, I really wasn't. I was just like, okay, the Opinionated Brother is going to be it. It was off to the races. We were doing well in numbers, audio wise. We were figuring out video and everything. And pandemic hit. Things just started to kind of move in a very fast way. This wasn't just me. It took a lot of my friends to really hop on board on my vision when they didn't have to, when they have their other stuff going on. They hopped on my vision. They hopped on my train and said, we're going to support you. We may not want to be on the show, but we're going to support you in this way. We're going to support you in that way. So when I say we, there is people that are coming on the backs of the T.H.C Media Network of Tyronza Hicks and Company and supporting it in ways that I didn't think was possible. And I'm so grateful.
I love that because I often use we too, especially when talking about Currency Club. Even though it's technically a one-woman show over here, like you said, I am creating the content, editing the content, uploading, marketing. Right. I'm literally doing everything myself. But I always say we too. And Travis from the Blasphemous Debate always gives me a hard time. Like, I know, shout out to Travis. Who is this we you speaking of, Whitney? We is all of my support system. Period. We is you sometimes, Travis, because I'm calling you asking you for video editing help. Or can you make this real for me? You told me that your favorite show is the R&B and Chill. But which show gets the most engagement from your audience?
The R&B and Chill does. Of course, the Opinionated Brother is the first show, flagship show of that. What I had to take into consideration this year, Whitney, was that the R&B and Chill podcast was doing better numbers, having better engagement than every other podcast that I was doing. Now, that does not mean that those podcasts aren't doing well, because they are, right? But in a sense, I'm looking like, whoa. The R&B and Chill podcast did over 10,000 streams this year in pure audio. The following that it has gained, the amount of traction that I've had just with independent artists hitting me up now. The time of me hitting up independent artists, I don't want to say it's over, but it's like they're now coming to me more. That type of level of notoriety, in a sense, not just on a social media level, but on a level where people are talking in rooms and they're saying, hey, you can go to that platform because he's dope. They all have their engaging moments in its totality, but I think at the center right now, it's the R&B and Chill podcast.
On your Instagram, I saw a flyer about some additional services you offer for other people who want to get into this podcast content creator space. Let's talk about that.
I do. As a full-time content creator, you have to, make your services available. And I've been doing this a while. So, I do feel as though I am really great at what I do. I am a consultant, podcasting consultant. I have consulted a couple people on starting their podcast. I have one of my good friends starting basically a movie review podcast and everything like that. And he consulted with me about that. I'm in a space where, we're doing consulting, we're doing producing. I have the equipment and the ability to produce for other podcasters looking to start their podcast. I've been more of the person in the forefront. So I think my thing now is I want to be more of the producer in the background. So if there's anybody looking for any type of, manager, podcast producer, consultant, and if you're looking to start your own podcast and maybe don't know where to turn or what that looks like for you and hosting platforms and everything like that, please come on over to the T.H.C Media Network. I got you. Hit me up in the comments, hit me with an email, and I got you. A lot of people are starting podcasts and I've been in the industry for a while. I've had my fair share of ups and downs, but a lot of people are starting podcasts and they're not even lasting 5-10 episodes. And I'm wondering why.
So let's talk about why podcasts are not lasting. Because when I
Yes.
interviewed Darius and Mayo from The Jungle is Hell, we
Mhm.
talked about it. Why are
Um,
podcasts either not good or why are people not lasting, not consistent?
I think when you look at podcasting, it's glamorous. Oh, you're talking? Oh, you're getting this many views. Oh, you have these many subscribers. Oh my God. Wait, he's getting engagement on social media? Hold on. Not understanding the actual business behind the art of podcasting. Journalism or newspapers, radio, and podcasting are all of the same family. Podcasting, in a sense, is the new shiny diamond that is everybody's just looking at it like, oh my God. When I started podcasting, Whitney, in 2017 with the Opinionated Brothers officially, there was nobody in the Grand Rapids area who even knew what a podcast was, let alone know what a podcasting app on the iPhone was. And I know before I had to start podcasting, I had to research that stuff. This was not really privy in 2017, 2016, not in the markets that it wasn't touching yet. And I knew when I brought podcasting to Grand Rapids, it was a hit. We see what it is now. We see the glamour. We see the money of it. We think we can just turn on a mic or turn on something, record ourselves for 30 minutes and think that, it's going to be good. No, because there was a point where I did that for a minute, where I had to understand the business. There's editing that has to go into this. There's video that has to go into this. There is everything. Like, there are people who do audio, but they will tell you they don't play. There's transcribed literally audio notes, SEO, everything like that. Why do you think a lot of these big podcasters have teams? They have to have a producer for the SEO, a producer for this, a producer for that, their cameraman, this and that. So when you finally understand after 5 or 10 episodes, oh snap, this might not be it. Yeah, this might not be it. So a lot of people are going into the space just to think that they have a voice, not understanding that there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes along with this.
Do you want to elaborate any more on the business side of running a podcast?
So I'm still learning how to take breaks. I'm still learning how to manage time, right? I have a schedule. I'm a full-time creator now. It's not even a game. Full-time creator, 5 a.m. in the morning to 12 a.m. the next morning. It's no sleep for the weary because I'm running a network and a business. Not only am I the social media marketer pushing every last one of our 12 plus social media pages out, no team, but then I'm also producing and editing for the next show. To be honest with you, Whitney, it was a time where I got tired. Now it's routine. Now I can do it in my sleep. Like it is so routine now. And then LLCs, getting, EIN numbers, getting funding, stepping into those lanes. You see a lot of these podcasters who just want a podcast. I'm trying to get and hopefully have my podcast network be a platform where people want to come and actually be on my network. The business side of it is the most taxing than just the podcasting side, because the podcasting is the easy part. The talking is the easy part. Honestly, it's the video editing, it's the business, it's the promotion, it's the marketing side that you now have to worry about. That's the business of it. It's a lot sometimes. For me, it could take up to maybe 2 to 3 hours to get everything I need done. I do everything from my phone. I don't use Adobe Pro. I don't use Adobe Premiere, not yet at least. And people are like, wait a minute, how are you pushing all this content from my phone? I had to learn how to do that.
Let's talk about a podcast alone that does not have any video content associated with it. Like what's your average recording time?
Average recording time is between 30 to about 2 hours.
And then do you edit any of your content?
I've always been a XXX editor, so hecky no. We're not editing anything. I always tell people, like, listen, and this is the disclaimer that I tell everybody that come on my podcast, especially the Opinionated Brother podcast, because that's our current events news. So we're a little bit more ignorant on that podcast. If you say something crazy, Monday and Thursday, we get down. This is an unedited show. Now, that show is unedited. Some shows I do edit, like Black Men Win sometimes, the R&B and Chill, Devontae's World sometimes. Yeah, I do edit those. And that can take between, like you said, maybe 30 to an hour. It's not really that crazy. It's just maybe getting the flyaways out of there, getting those kind of background noise up out of there and everything. But honestly, it's really been an unedited situation. And really with kind of the new toys that I've had, it's been an amazing feat because they kind of do all the editing audio for me.
See, that's what makes a traditional podcast sound very appealing to me, to just be able to record content and do very minimal editing and then upload it to various platforms or
Of
one
course.
platform that'll push it out to multiple.
Right.
Because with YouTube, I am spending between 6 and 12 hours editing every episode of the Currency Club. And it takes time. I see you. You feel for me. You feel my pain, right?
Yes.
It is because sometimes I
Yes.
have to go back and edit audio, even though we do all these tests in the beginning. Sometimes the microphone is not loud enough. It's background noise, right? So it's some of that stuff. But then also, I'm trying to edit out any dead space. So I'm
Right.
like, people only going to dedicate 30 minutes to my show, 45 minutes to my show. Let me make it as clean and quick as possible. What makes a good podcast?
That's a great question.
I'm full of them.
You are, honestly. Let me just say, Whitney is amazing. Just wanted to let that be known. First, you really need to do your research. Whatever podcast that you're starting, whatever category you're trying to be in, whether that be fiction, nonfiction, scripted, unscripted, current events, one-on-one interviews, make sure you're doing your research on the people that you're watching and listening to. Understand the style, jack some styles, see what styles flow with yours, create your own thing. Be you. Don't try to be nobody else. I have been successful in my lane being me. Authentically Tyronza, period. That might be a show. If you are in this particularly for the money, you're not going to get far. You're literally going to be those people who get those 5 to 10 episodes. It is the craft of it all. Podcasting has allowed me the space to literally say that I am a producer, I am an editor, I am an engineer, because I had to fall on my face in those moments to learn again and still learning these skills. And so that, I believe, is what makes a great podcaster and what makes a great podcast. Learning, being just you, and research, understanding what you want to bring to the table with your podcast.
So beyond the skills you just shared, what other skills does a person need to be successful in the podcasting industry?
You better understand a little bit of your audience. I'm not saying, listen, I'm a man who does not really do numbers, target audience, all that good stuff, but there is a level of understanding that you gotta have. You have to understand your numbers to a degree. Marketing on social media, because everybody's ready to start an Instagram and a Facebook. I would say research the platforms that work better for your podcast. Let me say that again. Research the platforms that work better for your podcast. I run almost a half to a dozen plus social media pages, including my own. And that's just our podcast all over the place, right? I have 6 on Instagram, 2 on TikTok, including my own personal, 6 on Facebook. So we're running about 14 pages at the current moment. You got to know which ones work for you. Facebook and Instagram have always worked for me. TikTok has just started not working for me. And Twitter, it works for me how I want it to work for me. And that's how you have to go about it when it comes to social media. You have to use social media as a platform for your business. You have to turn it in a way that you're using it, not it is using you, right? Not social media is using you. Build relationships through these. So that is so important. Build relationships. Do not be afraid to jump in these clubhouse rooms. Don't be afraid to jump in these Twitter spaces when we're talking about podcasting and everything. I was that person 2 years ago, and I had to step out of my shell and my comfort zone to make sure that I'm making the right relationships. Relationships will bring in that cash. Anytime you're trying something new, you're going to fail. I failed at everything that I did, and here we are. So continue to try, fail, and learn.
Let's get into the money.
Let's keep talking about money. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, because they ain't paying me. They ain't paying me for real. Listen, I've been in this podcasting game for almost 6 years, and I concretely know, Whitney, that I'm better than a lot of these people out here.
Pop your shit.
I know it. They ain't trying to give me the bag. Why? Because they're trying to own my shit. I moved to New York about in 2020. It's been tough because I've been out of a job. Honestly, and I'll keep it a bean. I've been out of a job for 2 years. After graduating with my master's, I couldn't get a job. Still can't, honestly. That was tough. What I had to understand and what I had to not let happen was for my business that I was growing to falter and fall by the wayside. And so all that energy of worrying and stressing about a 9 to 5, I had to make some things shake and put this in the forefront. And so independent podcasters are not getting their just due in the podcasting space. And a lot of people, a lot of these companies are not hiring producers like myself at the rate that they need to. Now, of course, we've seen a lot of layoffs. Even still, what producers, podcast editors are supposed to get paid, which are much like in the 60s to 90,000 range, the big companies are offering 40 to 60,000. Like, what? No. I know my worth as a podcaster, as a businessman, as a man who is the creative director of my network, who has built what he's built. I look at people now, I'm like, yesterday's price was not today's price. I'm sorry. And it happens every day. Every day that you look crazy and say, I'm going to just pass on him, that's another day that the price going to go up. I'm sorry.
Don't even be sorry. I say that unapologetically.
Yeah. You know what? Right. Unapologetically.
This is my expected pay range.
Exactly.
Can you compete with that? If that's outside of your range, that's okay. And we're not going to do business together at this time. Go ahead and screen them other candidates. Best of luck to you.
And listen, and when you come back around, just know that yesterday's price wasn't going to be today's price. I'm probably going to up the price again because I know what I can bring to the table. I was just talking about this, Whitney. The podcasting game, especially in hip hop, has literally just been a lot of podcasting breakups over money. And I'm like, is podcast management not a thing? Are y'all not having y'all producers or managers or whoever are writing up these contracts? It kills me because y'all are blowing millions to hundreds of thousands of dollars talking in a mic, whether that be video, audio, or both, and y'all just doing this, and y'all are getting paid handsomely from what y'all was doing from before, and y'all getting paid to do this handsomely, and y'all are, excuse my French, fucking it up.
But Ty, you told me you are a full-time podcaster. How do you get paid from the network? Is it advertisements on your streams?
It is ads. It is affiliate programs right now. I'm trying to dip my toe into every way possible, trying to get grants. We literally just got, our LLC last year, just got our EIN number last year. So we are, again, this is a one-man army. So I am trying my best. It is things that I'm learning that I'm just like, okay, I got to keep it moving. So right now it's really ads, it's really consulting, it's really, just what that looks like in an affiliate program. We just became, an affiliate for our video streaming platform. So that's huge. But even still, to the point of me being a full-time, people are not trying to pay for full-time. You understand what I'm saying? They not trying to pay me. Why? I'm dope at my job. That's 1. 2, it's me. 3, I'm black.
Hold on, what does this mean? What does this mean?
It's me? Oh, it's me. It's me. Like, it's Ty. You will rather go to somebody else than come to the person that knows going to do you right. I don't know why. I don't care though, right? My thing is God got me. And he has been having me for the last 2 years. And this is back to the we part. When I say we, it's the support system. I had to let a lot of people go who was trying to get up on this train and not support the train.
They just wanted a free ride on the train.
Come on now. Come on, Whit. You know that.
I hear you.
If you want a free ride, then hey, it's a bus over there, but you can't. I'm building something here. My support system has always lifted me up. New people have come in to show they support, really show they support. I have co-hosts on my show and my brother and my cousin on the Opinionated Brother podcast, in which they've been doing this for almost a year. These are things that I'm just like, yo, I'm blessed. We getting affiliate programs here, doing ads for this. People are asking me to be on their show. Like, it's a lot of things this year that I'm just, wow, I'm blown away from. And that's why I said, like, relationships, to me, that brings in the cash. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. Like, because cash comes and goes. Are companies paying me to do stuff? Not right now, but it'll be coming because they'll be knocking on my door soon to produce and host and everything.
With the social media websites, are you signed up for content creator programs so you can get paid for your reels?
I am.
And views? Okay, good. So they say you can tell a lot about a person based on what they spend their money on. What do you spend the most money on every month beyond bills?
Podcasting or marijuana? I be needing to calm down because these people be stressing me out.
I like how authentic you were with that answer.
Yeah.
What set you apart from all the other podcasters?
I'm me. Like, I'm going to show up authentically me every time. I've been in a lot of spaces where you get in there and like, somebody, but then they put on this face when you get into a room. And with me, one thing that has been consistent across the board, nobody can say that Ty switched up how I move in this industry, how I move, period, my professionalism and how I do things. Because I'm a businessman first. I'm adaptable and I'm a fool for knowledge. So I'm always learning. And I'm young. I'm 28 in this thing. I am
Okay.
still young and still kicking. I ain't hit my ceiling yet. I may have cracked that thing, 500 episodes plus 100,000. That's amazing. That's great. That ain't enough though.
What is your ultimate goal with podcasting, with the THC Media Network, with everything you got going on?
This was a space at first that a lot of us laughed at and didn't even see coming. That could be a space where we could honestly not only create, but also generate funds and generate income. That is a full-time income. You understand what I'm saying? That's away from the traditional. And ain't nothing wrong with that. That's how we kind of built our platform off the style of traditional, because we still hold that professionalism to a value. The goal for the THC Media Network is to be a hub for creators of color, specifically Black and brown individuals, my Black women and my Black men, to have a space where they can create. And whether that be virtual, whether that be in person, whether you want to put your podcast on our network, whether you want to put your blog on our network, we are creating slowly but surely a hub for that. And I want to be a leader in that. So,
all right, so I'm thinking a couple things. One thing is, if you want to collaborate on a show, a podcast, holla at me.
absolutely.
I'm looking to get into the podcast industry. We can do something together. You can produce it. Holla at me.
Yes.
But number two, Black and brown creatives are so overlooked in this industry. We do not get the likes we deserve. We do not get the engagement, the shares. We don't get the compensation for our content that other people are getting. So if you are watching this, please support the people you know first and foremost. But second off, any other content creators of color, because on the back end, they be doing us dirty. They not giving us our flowers. They ain't giving us our checks, whether it's a verified check or literally coins in a paycheck. We are so slept on. So yes, please support the creatives of color. Like, we doing this to entertain y'all sometimes, to motivate and inspire y'all sometimes.
We don't be ready to be doing this sometimes. Sometimes we don't be having the energy.
Nope. We be tired, but we still show up and show out, right? So yes, support us. Please support your creatives of color. I love how you said that you do a majority of stuff from your phone, because sometimes when we get in this space and we start doing our research, we like, okay, I got to buy a laptop. I got to buy a high quality microphone. I need headphones. I need blah, 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 right? So sometimes people get discouraged just at the thought of, I got to spend $500. I got to spend $2,000 to start a podcast. So talk to the, aspiring podcasters about just what they need to get started.
To all my aspiring podcasters, if you really want to get started, if this is really what you want to do, if you ain't even got it right now, if you really penny pinching, you can start with your iPhone, the recorder app, and Anchor, and you got a podcast. And even if you want to get a microphone, Amazon has some of the best equipment, at least for starting podcasts. Even if you want to go intermediate, right? You should not be spending no more, and I'm going to say it again, you should not be spending no more than $100 on a microphone. I find it very crazy that people, Whitney, are spending $500 on microphones. If you are an aspiring podcaster, do not spend your money on a microphone. That is $500 that could be going to a light bill. That $500 is literally your podcasting equipment all in one. That is probably your Zoom PodTrack P4 that also has Bluetooth capability. And I'm just putting out some equipment here. That is a Samsung mic. That is a Zoom mic that I have right now. That is $20, $30 on Amazon. One of these cords, not even $10. Okay. And you can get high quality stuff for good prices. So you gonna spend $500 on a mic where you can literally spend $300 and get everything ready in one. Do not spend your money unnecessarily on things that you probably will not need, and then going to look back and say, damn, I didn't need that.
Talk to us about like the software or the streaming platforms you use, because I know that after you create your content, whether it's just audio or audio and video, you need to upload it somewhere so that it gets out into the world.
I've come to use Restream as the video platform for my videos. It's much like StreamYard as hosting platforms to get your podcast out via audio. What I use primarily right now is the hosting platform Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout is a hosting platform that is based in Jacksonville, Florida. and it's really, really good for podcasters. The metrics are really good. They have different plans for podcasting. And Buzzsprout is just not the one, right? You have Libsyn, you have Anchor, you have Podbeam, SoundCloud, right? I was on SoundCloud before I even moved over to Buzzsprout. So these are just some of the hosting platforms that you can use for your distribution, because that's what all you're looking for. You have the content. You're just looking basically for a distribution platform to basically put out that content. Now, some of these distribution platforms make it easier to distribute out to, the Apple Podcasts, the Google Podcasts of the world, and everything like that. I.e. Buzzsprout does make it a little bit easier for you to do that, and others make it easier as well. So those are some of the hosting platforms that you can use. And of course, on the video side, YouTube has been the premier for video podcasting.
Where can people find your content?
You guys can find me. Okay, you guys can find the T.H.C Media Network on YouTube. You can just type in the T.H.C Media Network, or you can check out my podcast. They are everywhere. Every podcast, The Opinionated Brother, R&B and Chill, Devontae's World, Grind It Out, and Black Men Win. We are also on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Google, and we're on Alexa. So if you just want to say, hey, Alexa, let me listen to blah, 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 we're there as well. It's pretty cool too. It's exciting when you do it. It's really exciting when you do it.
Do you do anything with Twitch? I heard that a lot of content creators are like streaming on Twitch.
I do not. Twitch is not my thing. Again,
Yes.
You gotta know your platforms. I know for me, I'm not a live streamer. I'm not a person who wants to be on the camera a lot with this ring light in my face, streaming for 2-3 hours in a day. I know me, right? I know how I stream, and most of the time I'm using my platform on the video side to really pre-record my videos. Or if I do a live stream, it's a live episode, right? So again, you have to understand what that's going to look like for you. But Twitch is a great platform for the gamers, the real live streamers who really dedicated to that, like for real. Yeah, it's popping over at Twitch though.
Let's talk about some of the challenges, beyond what you've already shared with being a podcaster.
It's going to be a grind, i.e. like money woes and not wanting to edit and getting tired, having pod fade, which is basically getting burnt out from podcasting too much. When we say podcaster, that means you're a host, you're a producer, you're an engineer, you're an editor, you're all of that. You're everything that everybody has a job for. And it's a lot. It's taxing, making sure that audio is right. It's a lot to deal with. It is the challenges, especially when you're growing in the craft, of watching out for people just trying to kind of play you in the industry as well, because the industry is so new. It is watching out for those, companies who are just trying to use your platform to just gain their notoriety, right? You have to kind of watch out for a lot of things. And for me, I'm a very much observer, and I'm not just a host with the podcasting game. I'm very much deep within the fabric of the podcasting game. I'm looking at numbers. I'm looking how numbers shift. I'm looking how YouTube changes this out. Instagram is doing this with the algorithm. And, Whitney, in this game of podcasting, you got to be willing to adapt a little bit, not to how you host your show or produce your show, but how you market and social market yourself and promote the show.
What is your number one tip for marketing beyond knowing which platforms will work out best for you and knowing the nuances of those various platforms? What's your number one tip?
Do not post all day. Do not become another Shade Room. Do not become another Hollywood Unlocked. Do not become another Baller Alert, Bleacher Reports. We have all of those. What I'm finding is that the smaller platforms are really, really working. If you have a small platform, and a small platform really can be from 300 followers that are real congruent followers to maybe 3,000 congruent followers. That honestly is what people are looking for. That is what listeners are looking for. That is what kind of is driving the engagement. And nobody's talking about it. Do not try to gain followers so much. You understand what I'm saying? Don't try to do that. Know your audience, understand your growth, and just let it play.
All right, so now we're going to switch it up. We're going to play another game. And this game is called For the Culture.
For the culture.
What is your favorite Black-owned business?
The HBCU sweaters that they be having, oh my God, I love them. Not only are they just a clothing store, but they just support Black.
Support Black colleges?
Yes, support Black colleges.
colleges.
Oh my God, I love support Black colleges, bro. Yes, yes. It's just not about the sweater. HBCUs get the least of funding when it comes to education. That in itself is such a statement that continues to be prominent. Nah, support us in not just monetarily, but support Black colleges, because we're still thriving. These are the colleges that are breeding out and pushing out these intelligent ass Black women. Support HBCUs, support the Alabama State, support the Morehouses, support the Clark Atlantas.
That's one of the main things that I love about living in Houston. They have so many, obviously, historically Black colleges nearby in proximity, but then they also throw events. Like there's the homecoming event that they have every year at the Energy Stadium, where they bring in all these HBCUs and then they perform and they compete, like making formations, audio, all that. It's just like, it's a whole show, it's a whole vibe. So love that. What is your favorite TV show, movies, or series with a predominantly Black cast?
Oh, it's Martin off the rip.
What is your favorite podcast?
Math Hoffa, My Expert Opinion. He's a battle rapper. His style of interview, when he sits down, he just sat down with the baby and did an interview with him. And his style of interview, I've been watching him since I moved to New York. The way he interviews people, it's very him. It's very authentic. Again, he doesn't change his personality up, right? When he sits in a chair, he's that person. Right. And when he leaves that place, he's that person. So he's coming off as him. His stylistic way of interview is just so dynamic to me. I do believe that, you know, hip hop artists like him and Fat Joe have a career in interview, in radio and podcasting.
What is your greatest accomplishment?
It's gaining over 100,000 downloads and views so far. That is huge for the T.H.C. Media Network. Again, this was not the plan. Right? This is not the plan. I didn't see this coming. And the amount of work that I put in, the tiers. First of all, a lot of people don't get to 10,000. I remember when I first got my 10,000 streams, I cried like a baby. So when I got that 100,000, I was like, oh my God. That was
proud of you. Keep going. Yes. You're gonna be at 200,000.
Listen,
you're gonna be at 1 million soon. It's gonna be about them M's next.
I'm telling you, when we start bringing in these bands and these bags, I don't want to hear but I want people to remember this episode. I want people to remember the Currency Club episode.
Yes, we're going to put that date and time stamp on this so that they remember humble beginnings. Yes. So look, I know every day is not a good day. Sun don't always shine, right?
You already know it.
If you are feeling down, what song or album instantly puts you in a good mood?
It's either the Temptations, some OJs, because for me, R&B, it's a calmer for me. It's like water. When my mind is moving a mile a minute and this day is not great and I don't want to do anything, I'm not playing Tupac. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing the OJs. I'm playing the Temptations. Well, it was just my magic. Or some days, if I need to get out of bed, sometimes I'm playing a little bit of Ice Cube. Today was a good day. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I need to get up out my funk. Because sometimes we can put ourselves in that funk. So one of my favorites is Today is a Good Day. Because that just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. You know what I'm saying? He put you in that space. You know what I'm saying? You gotta wake up in the morning and thank God. Hallelujah. So I'm listening to, a little bit of Prince, Michael Jackson,
I know you said you're happy to be here, right? You're honored to be in the Currency Club.
I am. First of all,
I appreciate you.
I love the Currency Club. I love Whitney. I want to say this. Whitney is dope. You are dope. You are amazing. You continuously give us a platform as creators, entrepreneurs, businessmen and women who in every area, whatever sector we're in, you give us the platform, a growing and thriving platform to just not only pop our shit, but also give us a comfortable space to really talk to the people about the ups and downs of what's going on. And I really do appreciate everything that you do for this platform. So congrats on everything and all your success. I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, that was perfect. Don't be sorry. If you take nothing away from this interview, do not apologize. You can be unapologetic with me. Yeah. I love that. Thank you. I appreciate you.
No problem.
So I actually want to thank you for being here. You were an amazing guest. I've been watching all of your platforms. I'm so thankful to Darius for even connecting us. Like we were Facebook friends, right? Ty would always comment on Darius' content. And I was like, oh, I think I need to know this person.
Facts.
Ty the pie guy. I need to know him. Send him a friend request and been watching everything ever since. So I'm a fan of your work as well. We definitely need to collaborate on a podcast. Absolutely. But before you go, I need you to leave the viewers with an inspirational message.
Life is like a bicycle. In order to keep your balance, you have to keep moving forward, right? In life, it knocks us down. and it can be a whole bit. But that does not mean you stop moving forward. It takes a little bit more effort to move the bike backwards. We don't like to move backwards. You got to keep moving forward through the storm, in the eye of the storm, getting past the storm. Whether that means you have to crawl to walk, from walking to sprinting to running. And if you even fall again, you practice the process, but you keep moving forward. Follow the kid, Ty the Pie Guy, you know what I'm saying? And once you follow me on Instagram, that is where you can see all of my shows, the T.H.C Media Network, get a little bit more acquainted. And if you want to contact me for any consulting or anything, you can go to my website at www.thcmedianetwork.com. Go to the contact page. Let's work.
I need y'all to hit that subscribe button to join the club.